Good morning, everybody.
Hello, am I testing? Testing, one, two,
I can
three.
hear you.
All right.
I'm a little envious you already got a big cup of coffee there because I did not get a chance to make coffee yet when I walked in. So I
Yep.
am again coffeeless. I got to work on my morning routine so I can make some coffee before I have to sit down at the desk. Oh, goodness gracious.
Hello.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's good to see you.
Always good to see you guys.
I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to get in and get set up before we get started here.
Hello, can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Ah, there we are. Sorry, I got a road today.
What was that?
I said I'm on the road today, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I've got appointments.
Oh my goodness. You're a busy man.
Yeah, end of year. It's always busy at the end of the year.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you could jump in the call.
Man, people aren't wasting any time on the highway this morning. Good grief, man.
They just buzzing right past you or what?
I'm doing like 85, and there's like people like riding my tail. Like, get out of the way. And
Oh my
wow, okay,
gosh.
all right. No, really.
Jeff,
Well,
we all know
keep
you're going 100.
Nobody truly knows how fast I go.
Mm-mm. Probably
All
better if
right,
we
there we go.
don't.
Got the cruise set at 72 mile an hour.
Oh, you don't believe him, Nick?
No, not at all.
He's shaking his head. All right. I would say, let's see. All right. Is everybody able to see my screen okay?
Yes, we are.
All
I'll try
right.
not to.
Wonderful. All right, that's better. All right, let's go ahead and get this party started. We're going to kick it off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody could stand with me. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Kurt, do you have our morning invocation?
I do. Good morning, everyone. So, Jeff, drive safely, and we will pray for you.
Yes, we
So,
Oh,
will.
needed.
all right, dear God, You are the true judge and the true righteous one. You are known throughout the earth. Help me recognize the injustice around the world that I'm blind to. Help me to see my blind spots. Show me how I can help where I'm needed most. I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. And for the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth?
It's-
Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? All right. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing for a second. And I would like to jump right in. As of right now, it looks like we have 16 Rotarians and one guest today. We have Ashley Ritz with us today from Open Arms Domestic Violence Shelter. So we're very excited to have her share some information and speak with us today. Before we get into that, Mr. Klein, do you happen to have any trivia for us?
Oh, I have some trivia for us, President Aaron.
Yes. Yes.
You will recall in the past, I have kind of taken a shortcut and I brought in the Young Players edition of Trivial Pursuit.
Oh.
Well, you all are so dang smart. Today I brought in the Genius edition.
Oh, no.
So if we get any of these questions right, or whoever does, by definition is a genius.
Wow.
Okay?
Okay. That's some pretty
Are
tough
we ready
stakes.
for the Genius edition? Everybody just, if you know it, yell it out. Here we go.
All right.
All right. In what country is it only 47 miles from the Atlantic coast to the Pacific coast?
Panama.
Panama is correct, Kurt Ulrich. You are a genius.
Wow. That's impressive.
That was
Genius.
really impressive. Genius.
That's why
All
the
right.
canal's there.
That's absolutely right. Spoken like a true engineer. Here we go. Entertainment. Dirty Harry, you know the cop? What was his last name?
Callahan.
You are a genius, Kurt Ulrich.
Gosh.
Oh my God.
I'm glad you made it today, Kurt.
You are on fire.
Do I need to take
Okay.
this for Cassie? Will you need this later?
No, she knows I'm full of useless information as well.
What is the only U.S. state name that ends with 3 vowels?
Hawaii.
Hawaii is correct. Who said that?
Aaron,
Did.
good job.
I didn't want to
Who
be a
got that?
show off.
Who got that?
That was Aaron.
Aaron
I'm a
got it.
genius.
Aaron, you're a genius. You are a genius. I got 2 more. I got 2 more here for you. Okay.
All right.
What percentage of alcohol constitutes 100 proof whiskey?
50.
50, yeah.
Yes, that is correct. 50%. If it's 100 proof, it's 50% alcohol.
That just
Good
means
job.
Nick's a drinker.
There we go.
I would have never guessed that Nick would have got that one.
Yeah.
Who is the only U.S. president and vice president never elected to either office? He served as president and as vice president, was never elected to either office.
Gerald Ford.
Ford, yeah.
Yep.
Gerald Ford is correct.
Very nice.
Is that who was that? I know I was
I wasn't
saw
first.
Chris Wren answer. Everyone else.
Yeah, I wasn't the first one though. I knew it, but I wasn't the first. I don't know who blurted it out
Geniuses.
first.
You people are geniuses.
We got a good handful of geniuses here in this group. I love it.
If you haven't got a question yet, here's your opportunity to enter the genius class. What's the capital of Iceland?
Reykjavik.
Reykjavik is correct. You people, I tell you what.
It's the only city I know there.
Good job.
Awesome. Well, I'm very pleased to know how many geniuses we have in our group. Nice job. Thank you, Mr. Klein. We appreciate all your help and diligence with trivia.
Genius.
All right, let's go through, kind of get started with happy dollars. Amy, are you available? Share with us what you're happy for today? Okay. Are you able to unmute yourself? There we go.
Okay, yeah, you had it locked or something.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. What am I happy for? I thought I was gonna have time for this. Let me see. I'm actually happy that my daughter is on the mend. She has COVID really bad. She's an occupational therapist. So it's kind of inevitable when you're a therapist. She's on the downswing now, so hopefully it will get a little bit better. She's had every symptom in the book. So lots of prayers.
We're sorry to hear that. We will definitely be praying for her, but happy to hear she's on the upswing of it at this point.
Thank you. Thank you.
Betsy, how about you? What are you happy for today?
Sorry, I just said to my husband, what am I happy for? I guess I'm just happy that, even though we can't get together as a family, we're all still trying to keep in contact with each other. And I mean, we all live here in town, so it's really difficult with my sisters and everybody, but we're making an effort of it, and we haven't gotten together for a year. It'll be a year at Christmas, which is so sad.
Wow.
When we all live like 5 miles from each other, but
That's crazy.
yeah, it is. So, but I'm still happy.
Well, that's good. We're glad to hear that. All right. Ashley, how about you? You want to share something you're happy about today?
Thank you.
Uh-oh, you're freezing a little bit.
Oh, no.
Oh, and I may as well. You hear me?
You're freezing up a little bit, so it was kind of cutting out. Yeah.
Just happy to have another day.
There she is.
There we go.
Sorry about
We're
that.
happy to have you here today.
Thank you.
All right, Chris Wren, what are you happy for today?
Well, I'm happy that our Rotary Club, we made the Guinness Book of World Records. We made the Guinness Book of World Records for the best bell ringers in the history of the world. How about that?
Woohoo! Nice job, guys.
Our club raised $627.45 last Saturday.
Wow, that's awesome.
Just write us down. We'll be in the Guinness Book of World Records. So that's what makes me happy.
Thank you for taking charge on that, and thank you to everybody who did volunteer. That was cute, Kurt. I didn't know you could do that. All right, Christina, how about you? What are you happy for today?
I guess I'm just happy. Put up the Christmas decorations last weekend and looked pretty good, I think. We got a free fake tree from Charles when he moved. He didn't want to take it with him, and it's like a 10-footer. So it's just brushing the ceiling, but it looks pretty good.
Oh, that's good. That's awesome. Glad to hear that.
It's my first non-live tree. I didn't think I was going to like it, but it looked
Really?
good. Yep.
Well, that's pretty impressive because I've never actually had a live Christmas tree. And my sister just got the first one in her house, and she said, you have to become a convert. So we'll see.
Well, my grandpa and I used to always go out and pick a live tree. It's just a memory I really treasured. So.
Aw, that's nice.
But this one's nice too. Comes from a friend.
Well, good. Yep. I love it. All right, Janine, what about you? What are you happy for today?
Well, I love Christmas. I love the reason why we celebrate Christmas. And I'm trying to encourage my daughter and her two sons to stay very healthy so we can celebrate Christmas with them.
Sounds like a good plan. I hope that all works out for you. Jeff, are you able to share what you're happy for without getting into an accident?
I am. I guess I'm happy that Michigan finally found a way to win. I don't know. I don't know. Do you count that as a win? I don't know what they're doing.
Oh, not sure about that one.
I don't know what's going on up there.
Carrie, how about you? What are you happy for today?
I'm happy that my Tide won again last weekend, and thanks to Chris, I worked during the Ohio State game, and he worked when the big game was going to start. So we were able to do the bell ringing and still see our games.
Awesome. Thank you. Kurt, what are you happy for today?
I appreciate being called a genius. That makes my morning start off really well. So, but no, I'm just pleased that Cassie's still at school and everyone's doing a great job at the school system, staying healthy and doing what they need to do. So, and it's finals week at the University of Findlay. So keep praying for all those hard students working hard.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Kyle, what are you happy for today?
I'm thinking about it, and probably the thing I'm most happy for is that I have an espresso machine in the office, so I'm able to keep my caffeine addiction through all this.
That is really important. I could use one of those. All right, Laura, how about you? What are you happy for today?
Kind of piggybacking on Christina, I do have a live tree that I got at Kaleidoscope Farms. And I actually think they sold out of trees this year because so many people were buying live trees again. So it's really a nice tree, nice to have in the house and nice to support some kind of local businesses.
That's very cool. Lori, are you available to share what you're happy for today? All right, we'll come back to Lori. Let's see. Matt, Mr. Klein, what are you happy for today?
I had a good time ringing the bell Saturday for the Salvation Army. I was pleasantly surprised by how few people I saw not wearing masks coming out of Walmart.
Really?
I think I only counted 5 or 6 during my hour, which I would have expected a lot more.
Wow. That is interesting. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to do some bell ringing for us.
That was fun.
Nick, how about you? What are you happy for today?
Yeah, so I'm happy my mother-in-law just completed her chemo treatment. So that's the big positive. That was kind of a rough go here during COVID. She's having a surgery on Friday, so fingers crossed that everything will go okay. Other than that, I'm happy to see my friend Ashley speaking today. She's going to say great things to us. Jeff, you didn't see it. I was choking a little bit when you spoke about Michigan. And Matt, the reason I know the proof is because I spent a lot of years with losing Browns team, but we're making a comeback.
Exactly right.
That's great. Well, we will be thinking about your mother-in-law and praying for her as well. So we hope everything goes well there. Nicole, how about you? What are you happy for today?
Gosh, I'm going to kind of go with Nick there as far as I'm still riding this wave of 9-3. Hello. Loving that. But happy to have Zach home, even though he's taking finals and he's coming out of his room and shushing me every so often because he's in the middle of something. But at least happy to, to have him home right now. So
awesome. Thank you for sharing. Nissa, what are you happy for today?
Today, I'm happy because I am waiting on an oven delivery. This time next week, we'll be in the new house.
Oh, So exciting. Congratulations. I'm sure you are so ready.
It is a primo oven. I'm an oven nerd. I'm so excited.
That's awesome. Well, we're very happy for you. Sandy, are you available? Share? Okay, what are you happy for today?
I'm just happy for the next couple of days. We're going to get some nice weather. I'm already over the cold and it's December.
Yeah, I am right there with you. Super excited about that.
Yep.
Love it. Susie, what are you happy for today?
Oh, well, as part of our remodel rehab from the flood, we had to get out. There was an issue. So you can't go to the relatives. So we had to go to a hotel. So we are at a hotel for the second day and it's lovely. When we leave, they wait at the Hancock 24 hours before they even come in to clean.
Wow.
And there's no room service. But we feel safe. And there's I think it's a really good deal. So if you need a gift for a loved one or yourself or something, really check at $99 a night. I think it's pretty nice.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that is good to know. Thanks for sharing. And we hope the fix up of the basement goes well and it's not too much longer for you before you're back in the house.
It will be longer, but we won't be here. We can go back. So
that's good.
Yeah. And
All
Michigan does well in basketball, cheering basketball now. So.
I got all these Michigan fans. Oh. All right. I'm going to jump back and check. Lori, are you available to share? No. Oh, no. Okay. Thought she was. All right. Is there anybody that I've missed? Happy dollars today.
Hey, this is Chad. I dialed in today.
Oh, there you are. Okay. I didn't know who the call-in user was, so please share. What are you happy for today?
But I am, what's that?
I said, please share. What are you happy for today?
Well, I'm actually happy for the dial-in option because I accidentally streamed the entire Browns game on Sunday over cellular data instead of my Wi-Fi. And so I blew through like 6 gigabytes of data in a matter of a couple of hours. So I now have to make it until Friday before my data resets. So I'm going old school with no cellular data, or at least very slow cellular data right now.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Great sacrifice, Chad.
I kind of feel like you're in high school again, being told by your parents, like, you went over your data usage. You went over your minutes.
Yeah, it kind of feels like I'm borrowing the cell phone again. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we wish you the best of luck with
Chad,
that.
that was well used data to watch that Browns game, though.
Oh my gosh.
Well, and I had to go all the way to the end of the game for a change, so it was nice.
That's too funny. All right. Well, good luck with that. I will go ahead and share. Today, I am just happy to see everybody who has joined today. It looks like we're getting more and more people to join remotely, so I'm happy to see everybody's faces that I get to see and just being able to connect with everyone who is taking the time to log in remotely and kind of keep our group together and keep going. So thank you very much for taking the time this morning. I'm going to go through some quick club business. There's not a ton here, but again, just wanted to say thank you to Chris Wren for running the Salvation Army bell ringing schedule and making sure people were excited to get out there. And thank you to everyone who did show up and participate in that. I'm very pleased to hear that we raised what we did. So awesome work, everybody. Thank you. As a reminder, just going through the holidays, we are going to be canceling meetings for December 23rd and 30th. So that's the week of Christmas and then the week between Christmas and New Year's. And then we'll get back together then in 2021. Let's hope it's an easier year than what 2020 has been. And last item, just a quick reminder, we do have a board meeting coming up next Tuesday. So that's the 15th. If anybody, it is open to all members. So if anybody wants to join, we have a WebEx link for that as well. I know Nicole mentioned it in the weekly message. So thank you for that. But if anybody's interested, just let me know. I can send you a link to log in remotely and you can help be a part of that as well. do we have any updates from any club chairs or anything new that anybody wants to share before we hand it over to our speaker for the day? Anything from anybody? No? Okay, I know we haven't done a lot of the individual committee check-ins. Obviously, we haven't had a ton going on, just with the way that the year has been. Hopefully, we can get to a point where we can get together again, have some social activities, and we're doing everything we can as a club to make sure that we're still supporting the community and volunteering where we can, and obviously raising club dollars where we can participate. So if anybody does come across anything that they think would be important for us to participate in or help volunteer with, please always just let me know. We'll bring it to the board or we'll discuss it across the club and just make sure that it continues to follow the message of what we're trying to do as a club, and then making sure that we're still doing what we can to support our community and the important organizations and nonprofits that we have here in the area.
Hey, Aaron, I have an important matter of business here. We have an intruder in our Rotary Club. I see Jim Zellner back there behind Carrie with a dog. So we have
I did notice that.
meeting here. So just to let everybody know, this is not a private meeting. Jim is back there. So
we have 2 guests today. I'll go ahead and mark them in.
Yeah, I take credit for that, don't I?
Absolutely. All right. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Nicole, who is going to introduce our speaker for the day.
Good morning, everybody. Ashley Ritz is with us today. Ashley is currently serving as the Executive Director of Open Arms Domestic Violence and Rape Crisis Services, a position she has held for 10 years. Ashley is a representative for Open Arms on the Hancock County Domestic Violence Task Force and Community Corrections Board. She serves as the chair for the Safety and Abuse Coalition and represents the coalition on the Center for Civic Engagement Advisory Team. Ashley is a Hancock Leadership graduate and a member of the Findlay Kiwanis Club, where she currently serves as the Community Services Committee Chair and on the Board of Directors. Ashley holds a bachelor's degree in psychology from Bowling Green State University and an MBA from Tiffin University. Please welcome Ashley today.
Thank you, Ashley.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Do you have a PowerPoint? Be okay to share?
Yeah, absolutely. You should be able to go ahead and share your screen.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah. What's it doing? Okay. Can everybody see that already?
Yep.
Yep.
Good. Okay. Well, good morning to being here today. It's always a pleasure to get out and speak, even though I'm not out. It's always a pleasure to speak with and share with our community about how Open Arms is serving Findlay and Hancock County. So today I just kind of want to talk about our programs and services, just in case if you're not familiar with all of those. And then obviously we'll talk about how COVID has impacted our agency and some of the adjustments we've had to make in order to serve individuals and families in our community. So if you're not familiar with Open Arms, we are the one and only domestic violence and rape crisis service provider for Findlay and Hancock County. We have been around since 1981. So next year we'll be celebrating our 40th anniversary, which we're very excited about. We have a 12-member board of directors, and they are representative of the Findlay and Hancock County community. Currently, we have 22 employees, 10 full-time and 12 part-time staff members. And we have 2 facilities. We have a public office and a shelter location, and we operate 24/7. So these 22 employees are very busy ensuring that survivors and individuals affected by domestic violence and sexual assault are served on an emergency basis. So I always get asked about our funding sources, so I'll just cover that kick us off, we are a United Way partner agency. We've been a United Way partner agency since 1982. So almost our entire existence, we've been funded by the United Way. Currently, 25% of our operating budget comes from the United Way. And that includes the grant itself and then donor designation. So people who go through the United Way and say, I want my money to go to Open Arms. 50%, so the largest chunk of our budget comes from grants. So these are federal, state, and local funding sources. All of our grants are pretty much competitive on an annual basis for them, and hope and pray that we write a good application and we secure funding again for the next year. I am the grant writer for the agency, so that is takes up a lot of my time, and it is a very, very demanding position for us. But we're very thankful for the not only the federal, state, but also local dollars we receive. We do receive local dollars from a variety of different funding partners like Walmart, Kohl's, Rotary, Kiwanis, handbags that help supported the expansion of one of our programs this year. So we're thankful for all of our local partners. The remaining 25% of our operating budget comes from contributions. So that's just nice folks in the community that write us a check. Fundraisers that we do. So we do an annual golf outing, which we were able to have this year, thankfully, and client fees. So for two of our programs, our offenders program and our visitation program, we do charge a minimal service fee for. Our other programs, we are not able to charge for. It's actually illegal for us to charge for those services. So all but two of our programs are free of service. So moving right along. So at Open Arms, we offer 6 different programs and services, which we feel very fortunate to be able to offer all of these programs and services to our community. Unlike a lot of different agencies similar to us, even in surrounding counties or throughout the nation, a lot of domestic violence and sexual assault agencies, one, do not work together, they're separate, or they do not offer the programs and services that we are able to offer at Open Arms. So we consider ourselves very fortunate that we are pretty much kind of a one-stop shop for individuals and families affected by domestic violence and sexual assault. And I should note that our services are available to anyone impacted by domestic violence or sexual assault in the community. People do not have to be primary victims. They don't have to be the one that was assaulted. And we provide services for relatives, family members, third cousins, who, if you have a question or you're just kind of wondering about services and maybe how you can help a relative, our services are available to you as well. So now I'm just going to jump into each one of our programs and expand on those a little bit more. So we do offer, our emergency shelter is probably our most commonly known program. So we offer a confidential shelter for survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault and their children. So these are individuals that are fleeing from abusive situations in their home. So they come to us literally with the clothes on their back. Typically, they have very little with them, and they're with us, anywhere from a day to 6 months, roughly. Our average length of stay is 14 days for survivors. We have noticed that this year that the stay has been longer for some individuals. So that's something we've also been working with, how to manage COVID, how to manage a house full of people, but also keep them safe when they're staying longer with us. So while clients are with us at our shelter, we work with them on what's the next steps for them. Are they gonna find their own home? Are they gonna go back to the home? Are they gonna go into transitional housing? We work a lot with Hope House to provide them with transitional housing options. We also work with them on employment, childcare, if that's something that they're looking to do. Education is also really important for us when working with individuals. A lot of people that come to us, they have no idea the abuse that they've went through, that some of it even is abuse, and the history of abuse that they've experienced. And so we really try to work with survivors and educating them about domestic violence. And also we do a lot of safety planning too. Clients come to us and they, we recognize that domestic violence is a vicious cycle, and most oftentimes some survivors will go back. And so we have to work with them on how to plan if you do go back. What are some safety planning options so that our services are available to them in the future should they need us? So I should note, while our shelter is confidential, it's not a typical shelter that you might think of. I think a lot of people have misconceptions about a shelter, that it's brick building with white walls and, it's just kind of scary and dark. Well, our shelter's a home, and we try to make it as homey as possible for the families that are residing there with us. So that's our shelter. I'll go ahead and move on to our next program, which is our outreach program. So there you'll see the picture there. That's our public office located at 01 West Sandusky Street. That is obviously open to the public. That's where our administrative offices are, as well as we provide supervised visitation, support groups, individual outreaches. A lot of times people, if they don't have phones or they're just not sure what to do, they'll come to our office, and we have advocates there that can assist them. So part of our outreach program is also a 24/7 hotline, which is answered on a 24/7 basis. Doesn't matter what time you call, a staff member will be answering your call. I mentioned that we do individual, group support and education. We provide 24/7 advocacy at the emergency room. So we have advocates that are specifically on call to respond to Blanchard Valley Hospital, the Findlay and Bluffton locations, to provide that advocacy to survivors of domestic violence. We also offer some legal advocacy, so civil protection order assistance. A civil protection order is basically a piece of paper that survivors can obtain through the Domestic Relations Division of Common Pleas Court. It can be a safety measure for survivors, basically telling their abusive partner to stay away from them, or stay so many feet from them, or stay away from their workplace, or that they're not allowed to see their children. So we assist survivors with attaining that protection order. We're not attorneys, but we can help them with the paperwork and walk them through the steps. Sometimes that can be an intimidating process, filling out legal paperwork. So that's what our advocates are there for, just to be there with them, support survivors, and to provide that court accompaniment. We're also active in the criminal justice system. So civil protection orders are obviously in the civil court. We're also active in the criminal courts. We attend arraignments in Findlay Municipal Court. We walk along with survivors throughout a court case from the beginning to the end. Our advocates are there along with them, providing support, advocacy throughout the entire criminal justice system, as long as they want us there with them. And obviously, community awareness presentations are always important to us as an agency. We want people to know about Open Arms, obviously. We want people to know about our services, and that we're there to support individuals and families. All right, so that's our outreach program. We'll move along to our rape crisis services. So our rape crisis services are very similar to our outreach program, but they're just specific to sexual assault survivors. So we also provide 24/7 emergency room advocacy for sexual assault survivors. We have a separate group of advocates that are on call for sexual assault response 24/7. Our advocates have an hour response time from when we get called. The emergency room will call us, and then our advocates are dispatched, and they have an hour response time to get to Blanchard Valley Hospital. We are part of a sexual assault response team, a SART. And what that consists of is the Open Arms advocate, the forensic nurse from the hospital that's going to be collecting the evidence during the sexual assault hit, law enforcement, so that could be Findlay Police Department or Hancock County Sheriff's Office, depending on the jurisdiction of where the assault happened. Our other community players include the prosecutor's office, if the case moves along to the prosecutor's office. Mental health, Family Resource Center also plays a key part in our SART team. So the SART really ensures that survivors of sexual assault are served in a timely basis, and that cases that if the survivor chooses to move forward with police report, with prosecution, those cases are prosecuted in a timely fashion. For sexual assault survivors, we also offer protection order assistance and court accompaniment, just like we would for domestic violence survivors. And we also offer support and education in individual and group settings. We have a separate sexual assault survivor support group at our public office, and we also do a lot of individual education to sexual assault survivors. Okay, so moving on, our child advocacy program. This program, we work with kids that not only reside in our shelter to provide them with support and education, but we also do a lot of individual and group support for children who may have witnessed abuse in the home or have been survivors themselves of abuse in the home. So they'll come to our for individual or group support at our public office. Newly added, we also provide 24/7 emergency room advocacy for child abuse survivors, and that's thanks to the Handbags That Help grant this year that helped us expand that services to child abuse survivors. We also offer juvenile protection order assistance. So this is for like if there's a teen dating violence situation, if you have a juvenile that needs safety against another juvenile, we can help typically it's a parent that's petitioning on behalf of a juvenile, but we can help in juvenile court with that paperwork. And we also like to do a lot of prevention presentations in our local schools and to community groups. That's changed somewhat this year. Obviously, with COVID, a lot of those have been remote, but prevention is a big and key program for us because we want to obviously prevent domestic violence and sexual assault before it starts. So providing that education is really important. So we do presentations from pre-K up and through college, and our presentations vary just depending on the age group. So like in preschool or something, we do like a good touch, bad touch presentation. For older kids, we probably do teen dating, violence, bystander intervention, healthy relationships, and just kind of helping them understand how their behaviors can affect others and having those positive relationships with family members and for future relationships too. Okay, so moving along there. Another one of our services that affect children in our community is it's called Harmony House. It's our supervised visitation and exchange program. So this program is held out of our public office, and this program allows for parents to visit or exchange with their children in a safe and conflict-free environment. So pretty much a lot of our referrals come from Child Protective Services. These are children that have been removed from the home due to abuse and neglect, and they come to our facility to visit with their children under a supervised environment. We have staff that sit in each of these visitations. They document what happens during the visitation, and then our documentation is used typically by Children's Services and the court system to determine if the children will go back home or not. It may seem like it's, writing, documenting out for hours upon hours for our staff. Sometimes they don't really see the benefit in that, but it is a very beneficial program because it can determine a child's future, if they'll stay in foster care, if they will be adopted, or if they'll go back home. So it's a really crucial, and it's one of our bigger programs actually too. We also see cases referred to us through domestic relations court if there's a divorce going on. Maybe mom and dad can't stand to see each other, so they'll utilize our services, particularly for exchanges. And an exchange is really just where one party comes to one side of our building and the other party comes to the other side of our building. They have no contact, and then we take the child or children from one end of the building to the other end of the building. So the parents don't have to see each other. There's no conflict. Children don't have to witness any conflict. Any communication between the parents, we screen. It has to be friendly and appropriate. We don't allow for inappropriate or nasty communication to be passed between parents. You might think this sounds kind of silly, but it really is a utilized program, and it is beneficial to ensure that children do not witness or are not exposed to any additional abuse. I should also say that we utilize off-duty law enforcement in this program as well. So they come to our building during visitation hours. They're there as security, really just an extra layer of protection for our clients and staff. As you can imagine, some people are not too thrilled about being supervised as they're there visiting their children. So that's why the security comes into play, just to ensure the safety of our staff and clients. All right, so our last program I'm going to talk about is our Violence Recovery Project. So this is our program for offenders of domestic violence or a similar violent offense. As you'll note, most of the other programs I spoke about are for survivors of violence, but this is a program for offenders. So people that have been convicted of domestic violence or a similar violent offense, they are typically court-ordered to our program in lieu of incarceration. So the judge will send them to programming and say, you got to complete this program or else you're going to sit in jail for 30 days or so. So we have adult and juvenile groups, male and female groups. They're all held separately, obviously. Our group span is anywhere from 26 to 52 weeks long. So the 26-week program is for misdemeanors or lower level offenses. And the 52-week program is for felonies. So individuals that have been convicted of domestic violence at least twice. So as I mentioned, we get referrals from not only protective services refers individuals to us if they have a case plan with them, juvenile court for juvenile offenders, and then municipal court and adult probation will send us the majority of our clients for this program. We do see some voluntary participants, but those individuals typically don't last in the program. Typically, a court order or some kind of case plan is necessary for individuals to complete this program. This program is pretty successful. We have a less than 5% recidivism rate for individuals that complete it. As you can imagine, committing to 26 and 52 weeks is tough. It takes some effort, and we do have attendance requirements, participation requirements. You can't show up drunk or high or anything like that. So we do have high expectations for our clients, and for those that completed, we do see that they have a changed behavior and that they want to have happy and healthy relationships with their family members. All right, so that's our 6 programs and services that are at Open Arms and all of the things that we're doing in the community. I do kind of want to touch on how COVID has impacted us. So for each of our programs, it was kind of different how we had to handle what we were going to do and how we were going to adapt to the pandemic. So our emergency shelter and our outreach services were considered essential by the state and obviously by us too in our community. So we have remained open through our shelter, our outreach, and our hotline services throughout the pandemic. We have not closed for a single minute. We've had to adapt some of our shelter operations specifically. So we do COVID screening questions for incoming clients. We have a daily protocol with our residents staying in shelter. We do temperature and health checks twice a day. Obviously, face masks are required, social distancing. We're promoting all those good precautionary measures. We are common areas. So we have scheduled times in the common areas. And when one family's done in the common area, then another family can come in the common area. And then there's cleaning in between those sessions. We're utilizing 1 bedroom per family just because we don't want to have a lot of shared space unless we have to. One thing we have had to do most recently is we've been utilizing hotels to decongregate our shelter. Our shelter has been pretty full. We have 12 beds, and we didn't want to be cramming those beds full just to keep everybody safe and healthy. So we received some CARES money, and we've been able to decongregate to local hotels. The local hotel stays would not be for individuals in immediate crisis. Those in crisis would come to our shelter. They would stay in the shelter for a couple weeks. And so the hotel stays would be for individuals and families that don't need as much intensive case management and are not in need or in complete danger. So this has been a benefit to us, and thankful for the CARES money. I'm thankful that we're able to do this and to be able to provide not only safety for our clients, but a safe place for them during this time. So some of our other program adaptations, so our survivor support groups, we weren't able to have those for during the stay-at-home order. So we have adapted those with Zoom support groups, which we're doing some in-person groups right now currently, and we're also doing Zoom support groups. And I think we'll probably continue those Zoom support groups even after the pandemic ends, because that seems to be a good alternative for some survivors. Our clients in our offender programming, we weren't able to do programming some during the stay-at-home order. We are back in person now, but during the stay-at-home order, we wanted to make sure that if individuals wanted to participate in programming, they could. So we offered homework packets that they could pick up at our public office and get credit for their sessions. I mentioned that we've been doing some remote school presentations, and I think that's going to continue for a while as well. Our survivor hospital advocacy, that has been back and forth between in-person advocacy or over the phone and FaceTime. During the stay-at-home order, we were over the phone. Back in June, we went back face-to-face. And just last week, we've adjusted to remote advocacy again. With the surge at the hospital, it really was not safe for our advocates to be out there in the emergency room surrounded by COVID patients. So we are back to doing FaceTime and over the phone advocacy at the hospital currently. So really, we've adapted at the agency the best we can to the COVID situation, and we continue to adapt. Most of our services have been available throughout the entire pandemic. As I mentioned, we've adapted as we needed to just for the safety of our clients and staff. So that on a good note now, let's get away from the pandemic. So we do have some fun holiday happenings going on at Open Arms. Typically, we would be doing a client Christmas party, where we would get together with the clients we've served throughout the year and provide them with a meal, and Mrs. Claus and Santa would come. We'd play Christmas bingo, and we'd have a good old time. We're not able to do that this year, unfortunately. So what we're doing a Christmas drive-through instead. We're actually doing that tomorrow at our public office. We'll be providing families that have used our services with Christmas presents, some restaurant gift cards, some Walmart gift cards, just some nice things that they can use in the community. And so we can help provide them with a better Christmas this year. And we also have an adopt a family program. This is where individuals, families, or businesses in our community adopt families that Open Arms has served throughout the year. These are typically our neediest programs our neediest families throughout the year. Typically, we have about 30 to 40 families that we adopted each year. So if you're interested in that, just let me know. That's programs still available. So despite the pandemic, we are still moving forward with the holidays and providing our families with a happy holiday situation, whether it's through a drive-through or through Adopt a Family. We're trying our best to still provide them with some type of holiday celebrations. So we do have a wish list, which is available on our website, openarmsfamily.com. And some of the things that we need really, since we operate a shelter, really anything that you would use in your household, we can use in our household at the shelter. We have been fortunate to get some CARES money, which has allowed us to buy masks and disinfecting products and Clorox wipes if you can find them. There's other items that we need for operations that the CARES grant isn't funding. So we do have a wish list on our website, as I mentioned, and if you're interested in donating, those are some of the most commonly used items that we can use at our shelter and throughout our programming. And those donations can be dropped off at our public office on West Sandusky Street Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. All right. And last but not least, I just wanted to remind everybody of how you can access Open Arms services. So we do have a 24/7 crisis hotline at 419-422-4766. Our public office at 401 West Sandusky Street. It's open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. You might see it open other times of the day, and that's just because we have visitations going on later into the evenings to accommodate individuals' work schedules. There's our phone number for the public office. We do have an agency email there, the Yahoo email, which is non-emergency. And then there's my email too. And I should note that's non-emergency too, but it's probably checked more than the agency email. So if you need anything, obviously feel free to reach out to me as well. And there's our website. So I think I have moved through our programs and services and how we're serving our community. Does you have any questions for me?
Anybody? Ashley, how have you seen needs through COVID? Did you see a quieter for this year? Has it been more in demand?
Yeah, great question, Nicole. It's been kind of a roller coaster. So at the beginning of the stay-at-home order, it was like real quiet, and we were wondering where everyone was because we know domestic violence and sexual assault is happening, and we're just kind of wondering why is no one calling us. About June, that changed very quickly within a day. We accepted 6 families in shelter in one day in June, and it has been an upswing definitely. So hence why we're having to use hotel rooms. And it's been really interesting to see how some programs have been affected more than others. Emergency room response has been slower. As you can imagine, people are not going to the emergency for treatment, but protection orders has been up and shelter has been up as well.
Interesting. I have a question. You mentioned that I wasn't aware of some of the other programs that you had, so it's awesome to know where you provide other services. It's really impressive to hear that the recidivism rate is so low for offenders. I was just wondering, how long do you track, like the timeline to get those numbers once they're done with your program?
Yeah, so right now we're at a 10-year tracking with program. Obviously, it makes it a bit difficult because some people will relocate, and it's not a perfect system. But obviously, if they stay in the community, we're able to keep tabs on them.
Yeah, that's really impressive that you guys are able to do that. That's really nice to know.
Yeah, that's one of our programs. People are not actually been around for a long time too.
Yeah, I had no idea. Anybody else have any questions? No? All right, then I will go ahead and close out the meeting. Ashley, thank you so much for sharing the information today and for everything that you do and the services that you provide here in the community. I know that it's definitely a service that's near and dear to my heart, I would say, just some family history, and I know how important it is and how many families it does affect. So thank you so much for all that you do. We're happy to help in any way that we can. So we'll take a look at the wish list, and if there's anything else specific that you guys have a need for, please don't hesitate to reach out and let our club know. We want to help in any way that we can. Thank you, everybody who logged in and joined our meeting today. Does anybody have anything else for the good of the order before we go ahead and close out the meeting today? Bueller? All right. Thank you again for everybody joining today. Let's all go make it a great day and make it a great week. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Thanks.
Thanks, Ashley.
Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.